All right, we got lots of adventures coming up here soon that we're going to talk about in upcoming episodes. We're going to go watch Home Alone with Macaulay Culkin.
What?
That's right. We're going to watch Home Alone with Macaulay Culkin.
Kevin.
We're going to talk about Christmas traditions. We're going to do some comedy. We're going to do all kinds of adventures.
Hit me up if you're available to go see a comedy show in Northwestern Pennsylvania.
Yep,
on December 13th.
And also this weekend, Black Friday, at the Comedy Farm in Altoona. But we have lots more Christmas adventures planned. And it's going to be an exciting next 6 weeks.
Yeah, I think we're also going to be spending New Year's Eve at the Comedy Farm.
That's quite possible.
So, we are booked, and we are happy that you're going to be going on these adventures with us.
Here we are, once again, on the Gilded Trash Podcast.
Yeah, it's season 1, episode 9, and I'm saying season 1 because we are going to wrap up this year with episodes 10 and 11, and then in 2025 it'll be season 2.
Season 2, like a show.
So last week, if you listened, we talked about drugs.
We did,
and it was a really fun episode. It was a little bit emotional, but mostly fun. We did actually get a report in from one of our loyal listeners who wanted to share that her favorite drug movie was
Natural Born Killers,
which is an amazing movie.
It is a great movie. I haven't seen it in a very long time. I'll have to go back and rewatch.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
It has been a while.
Been quite a while.
Shout out to Sister Alita. Thank you for letting us know what your favorite drug movie is.
What's been going on in our lives since the last time? One of the big highlights was I got to host a show at the Comedy Farm in Altoona. Shout out Comedy Farm. Thank you, Rich Hirschberger. He's an amazing comedian and he puts all that together. And it was a great time. What a lineup.
Yeah.
You talk about a good time. Good turnout both nights.
Yeah.
Great turnout both nights.
Matter of fact, I think he had to add the second show because the first one sold out so quickly. Perhaps.
Who knows? But I mean, I think he might have had 2 planned originally. I don't know. But
Rich
regardless,
Rich is the man.
Yeah, he's a go-getter.
He's making things happen in the comedy world in
where there wasn't things.
The middle of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of great comics. Christina Mariani, of course, was in town, and she absolutely
murdered. Listen. I may or may not be prejudiced against female comedians because I haven't seen a lot of really epic ones lately. However, Christina Mariani she's definitely one to watch. This girl is just...
She's going places. That kid's going places.
Yeah. What do you say?
And the guys from Harrisburg, Lennon Free.
Oh my God.
Absolutely killed it.
Amazing.
And then the second night, Mike O'Donnell. He was, like I said, stone cold killers, man, because they were just...
Yes.
The room was in stitches. Yes. It was really good.
It was great energy. It was a fun show.
The most fun I've had at a show, like in terms of the energy of the crowd.
Yeah.
All of that. It was just a great time. And of course, we'll be back up there.
Yes.
This coming Friday, Black Friday. We'll be back up there.
In and around Altoona, Pennsylvania, and you listen to this on Thanksgiving when it drops, then you'll be able to hit the show.
Yeah. And speaking of Lennon Free, he'll be back up there along with Andrew Glessner, who's hilarious. We saw him host we've seen him a couple times when we've been up to the Comedy Zone. He's really funny.
Yeah.
I'm not too familiar with the other guy, but it's still going to be a great show. Ridge doesn't bring anybody in that's not funny.
No.
He's got it, dude. He's got an eye.
Yeah.
And he puts on a great show. And the Comedy Farm is a great venue.
Yes.
In terms of being there at Arts Altoona, in the grotto, as they call it, it's got a great vibe.
And the Arts Altoona staff are all amazing as well. They're fun, friendly.
Sherry's great.
Sherry is so nice. So yeah, for sure.
But yeah, looking forward to it. So
yeah.
But yeah, let's get into it. This week's episode's about Thanksgiving, kind of. But it's also about just crazy family stories and just that's what it's about. Just fun family stories. What do you do at the holidays? What do your families make? What do your families make? Now, I don't know why it came out like that. But
Every time he's talking about food, he turns Italian.
I start to get it. It starts to come out of me.
Like, you'll see this trend. It's happened in several episodes.
That'd be funny to put a compilation together of me just talking about food in an
Italian accent.
New York accent, New York Italian accent.
Except for I had to laugh and call this out because you got corrected by the legendary...
The mayor of 18th Street, Jeff
Lucchino.
Who straight up called me out at Mario's the other night because I said instead of subs when I was talking about New Jersey, but I had to point out that to be fair, like around Philadelphia, like the extension of Jersey that's out in Philadelphia, there's a good portion of Jersey that's hoagies and not subs. But I get his point. It's fair. It's fair.
It was a fair call out.
It was a fair call out.
He's an authentic Jersey boy. Or New York, Jersey guy.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. He's an Italian East Coaster, like in that region. So he straight up.
He knows
He said subs.
Yeah. But it's more fun to say hoagies in Italian.
It is. Yeah, it is more fun to say hoagies. Hoagies is more fun to say however your accent is.
Hoagies. Yeah, because if you're from my neck of the woods, it's hoagies.
But just crazy family stories. That's what we said we were talking about.
Yeah.
I got off because of the Italian accent. That threw me off.
Yeah.
No, but let's just start off. First, the fun part about Thanksgiving is getting to hit all the different Thanksgivings. I love when there's multiple Thanksgivings to go to. Yeah. I want to go to Mom's. I want to go to Dad's. I want to go to Uncle Bob's. I want to go to Grandma's. I want to go to...
Yeah.
But that's what I missed when I was a kid because you would go to both sets of grandparents.
You did. I did.
Yeah. But no, I'm saying a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I just mean. It's fun to bounce around and do those things for Christmas style.
Yeah.
Where you're just going to every family and you eat. That's the other thing that I first noticed about Thanksgiving, of course, me, food, was I immediately liked different Thanksgivings for different reasons.
Oh my gosh, absolutely.
Because I want to go here because they have the best sweet potatoes. I want to go here because they got the best noodles. I want to go here because they got the best ziti. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
Oh, but that's a great call out there. Along the way, we've gone to a lot of different families' Thanksgivings.
We have been very blessed to be invited to several Thanksgivings over the years. Several.
Yeah.
And obviously there's our traditional family ones. But yes, my daughter's uncle and my daughter's grandmother lived in Cockeysville, Baltimore area.
Yeah.
And I think 2 years we went down for Thanksgiving, and Brian is an amazing cook.
It was just a lot of fun because it was like I said, I think it was baked ziti, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I never had any kind of Italian.
Like lasagna or baked ziti.
Yeah,
I think it was
it
baked
might
ziti.
have been both.
Yeah.
But I never had that, my family never had any kind of Italian. There was never red sauce involved at Thanksgiving any way, shape, or form. It was the furthest thing from everybody's mind.
Yeah. But their family is part Italian.
Yeah, so it was interesting to have that.
Yeah,
that was and R.I.P. Sister Barbara.
Oh,
and Grandma Catherine.
Yeah.
And but that was fun though because that was one of the first times I ever talked to a nun. And it was fun. She was a fun nun. She was a fun nun.
I love Sister Barbara. And she was in the location where remember that the keepers, father.
Because they both were from the Baltimore area, right?
Yeah.
And so that the show.
Well, Sister Barbara's from Pittsburgh originally.
Oh, okay. But she must have been down there. I feel like they definitely knew her for some reason.
Yeah, they
were down
knew
there. That might have been where she was, for her nunning.
Her nunning days.
Back in her nunning days.
Because Dakota's grandmother was a nun for 5 minutes before she got married. Yeah.
But you talk about, I never knew a nun would be down to earth. I'd seen the flying nun, but that's fake. But I didn't know that a nun would be cool.
Yeah.
She was so cool and down to earth. She just talked to you like a regular person. And I don't mean regular, everybody talks to you like a regular person. But I'm saying she was just chill. And
for the array of bullshit that Catherine's kids have put them through, she was just really
chill. She was just had it very practical.
Yes.
Which is not what you would necessarily think about a nun, but she was just very practical, very down to earth, very...
Yeah. And that had to come from the experience of being from Pittsburgh and then living in Baltimore, just having the experience of understanding the real human struggle. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
You're a nun. You're touching parts of society that don't necessarily get touched. Right. So you do see a lot of realness. Right. That's why it's, if you got a good attitude, you can go far with a nun. There's a lot of good jokes in there,
but I won't go there.
What?
Because
that's a little different.
I do rate some of the jokes. So yeah, but that's an amazing Thanksgiving experience. But so my first mother-in-law, Miss Linda, she's the one that actually introduced me to green bean casserole, because I had never experienced green bean casserole at a Thanksgiving. And this was in the early to mid 90s. But then my sister, that's her thing. So
I think that's the time that it probably took off.
Yeah.
Because I remember it coming out about the same time. And even then it wasn't like at every thing. It was just like here and there you would see it at maybe like a church potluck.
Yeah.
Because we went to a lot of those growing up.
Yeah,
church.
absolutely.
Oh, buddy. Mm-hmm. I love the church potluck. You couldn't beat that. Man, at Quincy, you go down the basement, low hanging ceiling, but you just see these crock pots, people bringing dishes out of the kitchen. And the cool thing about Quincy too is Dave Wagner.
He's a good cook.
He's a real legitimate cook that's what he does for a living.
Yeah.
He went to church there, so he'd be back there.
It was well orchestrated, is what we're saying.
Yeah, it was always top. Cool. Quincy dinners were always top notch.
A lot of my Thanksgiving church activities were around the Ferndale United Methodist, because I would go with Susie and her parents. And I mean, it would be very similar, but it was a lot of potluck. I always looked forward to Susie's mom's Texas sheet cake, because Texas sheet cake.
Yeah, so the dinners so we went to two different churches. Of course, we went to what we used to do. So when my mom married my stepdad, neither one wanted to give up their church. So the timing was right that we would go to one church for church and then go to my stepdad's church for Sunday school.
Oh.
So we had enough time from when that church let out to drive over to Hagerstown, half-hour ride from one church to the other. And we used to do this when we lived in Greencastle. So we had a half-hour ride to the first church, then a half-hour ride to the second church, and then a half-hour ride back home. But
big old 30-minute loops.
I didn't like the dinners as much at Norm's church. You know what I mean? They weren't quite as good.
Because they're uppity white folk. They weren't country white folk.
Here's the others.
Quincy's the country white
folk.
That's
right. Oh, for sure.
Sorry.
And not only that, but what I will give Norm's church, though, is they had some good meals.
Uppity. They're very nice.
We've had some
good.
Yeah, they do good breakfast and stuff. They're pancake breakfast, buddy.
Rest in peace, Norm. But whoever made the sandwiches, his funeral food was all made by the church, and it was.
I love funeral food, dude.
I know you love.
I love funeral food
so much so that it's in his jokes.
So much so that actually I might, because I've never referred to it as funeral food. That's funny.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, so a couple of our listeners have asked how they can get in touch with us. One way is to check out our YouTube channel, which is at Gilded Trash on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button. You can comment on any of the videos. Another way is Buzzsprout. It's at gildedtrash.com, where you can interact with us by sending us fan mail. If you log into gildedtrash.com, you can scroll down to the bottom of the page and you can submit any questions there. You could also email me directly, Alana, ALANNA, at gildedtrash.com, or you can look for us on social media, and that's way too many handles to mention. Because I don't know everybody calls it something different.
But let's be honest though. Set aside the fact of why you're there. Some of these things got spreads like you wouldn't believe. Better than some weddings that I've been to. Yeah. Like they got like sandwich trays. I love the assemble your own sandwich like buffet.
Right.
At
like
a funeral.
Meat and cheese platter with all the
Are you kidding me?
I know.
God rest his soul, whoever it is.
I couldn't even tell you. I'm sure we had fried chicken at my son's. I don't remember any of that, but yeah. Unfortunately, I've been to way too many funerals, so.
I mean, that's, yeah, you have the variety pack there. You don't know what you're getting at a funeral.
Speaking of which, when I die, and we'll probably talk about this again.
What do we eat at my funeral, buddy? You're gonna eat good.
Like,
you're gonna eat good.
I don't really drink that much, but I want everybody to just be at a bar singing songs. Sing all my favorite, sing all the karaoke songs that I used to do.
There will be food provided.
Yeah.
That I will make sure of.
Yes.
And
it'll probably be seafood.
Food will be provided.
Depending on how rich or
poor you are. You're looking at a smorgasbord that'll rival the biggest one in Lancaster. Lancaster.
If you're from
Pennsylvania, Lancaster. I love the different ways people say it.
Lancaster's like burnt.
Here's the thing is I've said it so many different ways. Like just being funny, and because I always do that. Anytime there's multiple sayings, I tend to say all of them instead of just one.
It's so fun. Words are fun.
But it's one of those, I don't even remember how I originally said it. You know what I mean? I don't know how I say it per se.
Right.
Because I hear...
I'm just very conscious of it because I got corrected by not the Amish, but I met a Mennonite girl when I first moved to Waynesboro, and she corrected me on how she said it, and I was like, oh, is that how you say it? Mm-hmm. Like what's the other one that I like to say that's out that way? Skullkill.
Yeah. I think that's how you say it.
That is how you say it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But Lancaster is how you're supposed to say it really fast.
Lancaster.
Yeah. There's no drawl in it because we're not from the South.
Right.
We're not supposed to be from the South, but a lot of us sound like we're from the South.
If you live in Lancaster, then you might feel like you do.
I wonder how the Amish say it. Do they say like Lancaster?
Lancaster. That sounded British. The Amish don't sound British. Maybe they do.
They do.
No, they don't.
No, I know what they sound like. I listened to them at the store. They sound like they're speaking German in a high-pitched voice.
Some of them are.
I know what you're saying, bitches, because I know German. And not only that, I see you walking around with your cell phones.
Oh, they're allowed to do it to conduct business. If they're part of a liberal Ordnung. No, because I watched the whole thing about the people at the Reading Terminal Market in Philly. Mm-hmm. There's a couple of authentic Amish stands, but they use because they're like, we can't conduct business in this world without You know what I mean? So it's like but they have rules. Like they agreed, like their Ordnung or whatever agreed. You know what I mean? That they could use it for business or whatever. So these rules are fluid because they're all made up. It's just like anything else. They're all made up. So when push comes to shove, they'll change it if they need to. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's
like when they let their women vote for the first time in a century.
Right.
Just kidding. I don't know if they did or didn't. I wasn't there. Anyways, so so you traveled. Did your mom cook when you were little for Thanksgiving?
No, my mom never made Thanksgiving dinner. She helped at grandma's.
Okay.
But, sorry.
Wait, let me hit this so I can cut that whole bit out. Okay.
So when mom and dad were together, we went to Grandma Fliggles and then Grandma Reed's.
Okay.
And then when mom... Well, see, at a certain point, Graham quit doing Thanksgiving. No, at a certain point, though, Graham, because she just couldn't do it physically, that's when...
I feel like we had Thanksgiving at her house the one time, though, or maybe that was Christmas.
No.
I did eat a meal prepared by Mary before she passed, and it was like ham and rolls and... I don't remember if there was turkey involved. It was either Thanksgiving or Christmas.
It wouldn't have been Thanksgiving. It could have been like Easter or something too.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean? Because she always did the same things.
Oh, yeah.
We had grandma. That's one thing.
You and I were together for one whole set of holidays before she passed.
One thing that I loved about Grandma Reed that I always loved is ham at everything. Ham at Christmas, ham at Thanksgiving, ham at Easter. Turkey too at Thanksgiving, obviously, but ham was the priority. And a lot of people don't eat ham on Thanksgiving.
My parents do like sometimes.
I don't think you could do it without it. But one thing I remember that I loved, one time we did, and I still look back on this, we played a football game at Grandma Fliggles. Everybody, like it was just the right year that like everybody was like at a good age. You know what I mean? There was
Yeah.
lots of people, lots of men, boys that could play.
Right.
Like we could field 2 teams and we played a football game. It was a lot of fun.
That's cool.
Yeah. And, Uncle Kevin, of course, probably.
We always played, like my mom's brothers and them and my cousins and my brother, they would all play a game down at the high school, but I don't remember if it was on Thanksgiving. There was always like a big community game going on. I never really participated in all that, but my mom, I guess we might have went to my grandparents like to hang out for a little bit, especially if there was like football that we wanted to watch, because like my whole family was a Steelers family, like my mom's family. My dad's parents passed away when I was so young that I don't know if there was any Thanksgiving goings on with them. I do remember like Christmas stuff that I'll talk about next episode, but my mom is an amazing cook. And she was before she got.
Don't. She could listen to this.
She knows that she's not up to par anymore. She gets it. She has her moments.
No, I do remember though, like the first couple Thanksgivings that we came up here, I remember your mom tore it up. Like that. Because she was just getting around better.
Yeah, she was working still and she was younger.
Yeah, this is 15 years ago.
Yeah, she would have only been like not quite 60 when we met.
So she was like, running around tearing it up. It was real, man, that stuffing. Ooh.
My mom's stuffing is, if it's not world famous, it should be. It's like the perfect amount of just butter.
Yeah, it was like the perfect mix.
Celery.
Yeah, because there's only so much you can do with stuffing outside of, without going crazy.
Without adding oysters or sausage or all that bullshit.
Or gizzards.
Yeah. Although Carla at work shared an amazing recipe with us on our team thing. And it's like a Jimmy Dean sausage stuffing recipe. It looked amazing.
I've had some good sausages like that. I'm just not a fan. I'd rather go with the more traditional. But the thing that made your mom so good, it was just the perfect balance of all those things. The perfect balance of celery and onion and butter and celery salt. And the bread had that great texture, the right amount of egg, all of that.
Yes, it's just perfect. I don't know. It's
now,
perfect.
I will say,
and I can do it too.
I enjoy my Grandma Fligel's stuffing in the bird.
Yes.
Like, she
Her
has
stuffing is really
has
good.
a way of getting it, like, to be perfect, without being wet. It's like the right...
It's fluffy almost.
Yeah.
Like it's weird, but it's not weird in a bad way, weird in a good
way.
way.
Her bird stuffing is very, very good.
Yeah.
What were you just saying about cooking though that reminded me of in a brain freeze?
I'll go ahead with the part. I was going to say about, now we've hosted Thanksgiving, which is a lot of fun too.
Yeah.
I enjoy hosting. A lot of preparation. I feel very much like Clark Griswold when I'm doing it, because it just feels like everything. It's a juggling act.
It is a juggling act, but I've said this. I actually said this on social media last week. Is that when you and I cook together, when we're in the kitchen together, it's like a well-oiled machine. It's like a dance.
Like an
symphony.
event we're very good at it.
We're very good at it. We just know our rules and we pretty much stick to them, and we tell each other what we need and when we're going to need certain space in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I mean, it just works out.
We just
really
host.
well.
We're good at planning a party.
Ask
and
anybody
hosting.
who's eaten here.
Yeah. Because when you eat here, you're not just
you're taking some home.
You're going to eat 3 times.
Yeah.
You're going to have food forced upon you additional 6 times by her dad.
Yeah.
And then you're also going to have to take a full tray home for each member of your family.
And the only rule is bring your own fucking containers, because we're...
that's it. Most of the time, half the time we have them.
Yeah, we knew that we were so bad at over making food that we actually started stocking up on styrofoam takeout containers.
Here's the thing is, we like to offer a variety.
Yes.
However, where our fatal flaw is, we plan on each person eating each normal amount of each thing, which that's not how people eat when they're...
Offered
they take
so
one
many
of this,
choices. It's
one
when
of
it's
this,
buffet style,
one
you
of
don't
that.
eat full portions.
Exactly. So that's where but it's fine because everybody always goes home happy, like I said.
Yeah, absolutely.
Take a good meal home.
But so when we first got together, we hosted a couple Friendsgivings, which was amazing because
that was fun.
When we obviously, everybody's like off and married and has kids and all this, that, and the other. So everybody's grown apart. But there was a good core group of maybe 20 to 30 of us at any time that got together, and usually at our house, not always, but Friendsgiving was really fun. I'm just remembering I don't know if it was the Potomac Street house.
Yeah, we did one on Potomac Street, and we also did one on Price Avenue.
Yeah, Price Avenue, that's it.
But we did one on Potomac Street too. Because that had a good dining room.
Yeah, Price
we had that, and we had that table.
Yeah.
That was a nice table.
Yeah.
But yeah, some more Thanksgiving stuff. One of the things that I always look forward to was hunting. So Pennsylvania rifle season, of course, comes in for a large portion of my life would come in that Monday.
After Thanksgiving.
Right. Now, of course, it starts Saturday, but for the PA rifle season. But I also enjoy because growing up when Uncle Kevin was still alive, we bear hunt in the week leading up to Thanksgiving. Then you'd have Thanksgiving, and then you were going back out there for deer. And
what happened to Uncle Kevin's bear?
What do you mean? He didn't get a bear?
I thought he had one in his downstairs. Didn't he? I'll have to look that up later.
I don't remember him having a... Because, his dad did.
Oh, okay.
His dad had that bear.
Okay. Maybe that's what I'm remembering.
Yeah, I don't think he had a bear mounted there.
Maybe I'm thinking of Gregory's.
But no, but it might have been. Might have been his dad's too, but yeah. But yeah, so I love that stuff. Of course, when you're growing up, being off school is like the ultimate. You have a blast that weekend. And for me, hunting in between was like even better.
And I love being a hunter's wife too. There's a whole like kind of culture. There's like rituals that happen. You don't do it, but Marty used to do the whole like going out the week before and buying everything that he could wear, whether he needed it or not.
You know what my favorite part is though? You're probably able to guess.
Sassafras tea.
But I was going to say packing my lunch. That's my favorite part, is planning out my snacks and my food for the day.
Yeah.
As I'm out there in the wilderness. And what I don't like is when you go out there and it's not cold. Because then I don't feel like, then you're just like, it's not the same. But when you're cold, you're like eating to survive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're just barely staying warm. You're eating to keep warm.
No, you're right. Because I remember the one season that it was like unseasonably warm when you got back from hunting, you kept forgetting your food was still in your pack because you didn't eat it or whatever. It's disgust.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what happens.
But no, but obviously the main thing I love about hunting is fucking deer jerky.
Yeah, jerky, of course. And bologna.
And bologna.
Bologna and jerky.
Like bologna,
the meat products of, I like also chipped venison, like chipped beef.
See, I don't really fool with.
I like that.
I'm not anti-deer meat. You just don't tell me, and I might never know, but I feel like it tastes gamey.
Some of it probably does.
But I do like jerky.
Yeah.
And I did.
Who does?
Obviously.
People who are weird.
The men in my life have always hunted. So I've fried up some good freaking loins or whatever those things
some good
are
tenderloins, some back straps.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy. A little butter. Garlic herb butter.
A little butter.
Shout out garlic herb butter.
Garlic herb butter. But, I remember what I wanted to say, though, speaking of hunting, because it just reminds me of that side of my family, is the other tradition that I'd never known about until I moved over to Franklin County was hog maul. Like, I'd never heard of that.
I like hog maul.
It's so good.
Very good, very good.
And so my son's family, who we are blessed to spend this Thanksgiving with, they make it. And I think last year, didn't they smoke some?
I think so, but I just remember how good it was. It was real good. It was probably some of the best hog maul I've had.
Do you want to explain to listeners what hog maw is in case they don't know? It's a pig's stomach.
It's a meal that's cooked in a pig's stomach.
Yeah.
It's what, potatoes?
It's potatoes, sausage,
and all
onions.
That stuff. Yeah. And
some people put cabbage in it, some people
stuffed
don't.
inside a pig's stomach, and then you cook it, and it's delicious.
It's so delicious. And the outside gets crispy.
But
anyways.
No, I was going to say, so we forgot a whole chunk of what happens at Thanksgiving, which is...
We get really high.
No, it's often said that too. We'll talk about that in a minute. Who doesn't love the good pre-dinner smoke? That's if there's ever a day for a pothead, it's Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Because you're just like, people are just, it's so much food.
Yeah.
You're just like going to have a blast.
But I don't get the munchies anymore.
It's still fun to get out before you eat. But is that Thanksgiving has often been called the gateway to Christmas.
Stop it.
But it is, though. Hold on, pause that because I got to check my turkey.
Okay. I'm just going to stop the recording. Do you want to start?
That was fun. I really enjoyed that.
You're goofy.
We were talking about that Thanksgiving is the gateway to Christmas.
Where are you going with this?
No, I'm just saying one of the best parts about Thanksgiving is then a lot of people, I don't remember who, but will put up their tree.
Yeah.
We would always do stuff like that, like when we got home in the evening.
Yeah.
Of course, you start to watch movies. You start to watch Christmas, because this is really the Christmas movie season. You don't watch movies after Christmas.
There's not a lot of Thanksgiving movies per se.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, which I do love. It's a great Thanksgiving movie. I like watching Thanksgiving episodes of TV shows.
Oh, yeah. That's real fun.
I enjoy that. We always do that. We always watch seasonal episodes.
Of the shows that we like.
Of the shows that we like, yeah.
The New Girl with Zooey Deschanel.
We watch their Thanksgiving episodes. King of Queens Thanksgiving episodes.
Psych.
Although Psych. They don't have any Thanksgiving episodes, but they do have Christmas.
Okay. But we do it with all the seasons. Is she sick?
No, she's licking the...
I know. What else? Oh, if there's any good Thanksgiving South Park episodes.
Or Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sorry. We have a cat right now that's literally licking the desk chair. I don't know if you can hear that noise. That's the cat licking the chair.
We're just going to ignore her. That's Meowdith Gray.
Grey's Anatomy's got some good Thanksgiving. No, I don't know if they do or not. House?
They do.
House has some good ones. I love watching House episodes that are seasonal.
And then for me, it's Gossip Girl has some good Thanksgiving episodes.
Simpsons for me.
Yeah. I like the Simpsons.
Family Guy, of course, has some good ones.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Hell yes. So, that probably gives you a really good insight into who we are based off of what we watch.
No, but I love that stuff. Of course, how can we talk about Thanksgiving without talking about the parade?
Oh my God.
So listen, I never watched the Thanksgiving. Did I know what it was and had seen it before? Sure. But it wasn't part of our Thanksgiving tradition. But you introduced me. That was your whole thing. You're I gotta watch it.
So as fucking as functional as my family was growing up, there was traditions that kept us all together, right? And that was one of them. We would get up early enough to watch the parade. I think it starts at 7 or 8, but I'd be up at 7 watching the pre-show. And I'm such a sucker for lights, dancing, music. And then, excuse me. But when you're young, that's how you get to see all your favorite artists and all your favorite acts and shows and all that stuff.
Is that recording correctly?
I don't know.
No, it just looked weird. I guess because it was just the same.
Because you weren't talking.
It was just picking up. Yeah, I got you.
But anyways, and my dad would always make a light breakfast. No, my dad's huge on breakfast. So he would always make toast and eggs because we didn't want to fill up like crazy.
See, that's what's crazy is we never ate breakfast. You're going to Thanksgiving, buddy. Some people did, but
my parents made it.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. Honestly, that's what I hated when we would come up here to visit is, listen, you made the biggest meal ever the night before when we got here. You force-fed me a fucking all-star American special breakfast with bacon, sausage, ham, eggs, potatoes, French toast.
Just say no.
Yeah. And then you're like, oh, we're eating at 2:00. What? What is happening right now? Who's eating? Who has room to possibly eat? And then you're going to criticize me when I only eat small portions. And be like, that's all you're eating? That's all you're eating?
No, I love it. And so, yeah, the Macy's Thanksgiving was like, it's such a heartfelt memory for me. I at least glimpse it now. I mean, as an adult, I don't have any grandchildren that I know of, so it doesn't feel as fun anymore. Plus, I don't know the acts. I only listen to country, and I'm not against other acts, but I don't know what the kids are listening to these days. I feel a little disconnected. So yeah, the Macy's Day was like my big thing. And I'm such a sappy, emotional fuck that like I'll sit there and bawl through the whole thing for no reason. It's a happy event. Like I love it, but I'm just like weirdly emotional that way.
I will also say, as far as Thanksgiving things, football, of course, obviously is a huge part. But what's weird for me is like growing up, football wasn't a huge part of Thanksgiving because there was only like 2 games, and it was always like the Cowboys and the Lions, and nobody in my family cared about any of those teams.
Right.
So like the game would be on, but nobody was really
right.
Uncle Tom's sleeping in the recliner with the game on. You know what I mean? That's
exactly.
it.
Because like, all the other boys were too young.
But now that when they started adding that like night game, it's been exciting because it's been. The Ravens have been involved, and you know what I mean? So we have some rooting interest there in terms of...
Wait, didn't we have a Thanksgiving night game?
I can't remember if we had a Thanksgiving night game or if it was Christmas, because we've had some Christmas ones.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know if we had one on Thanksgiving.
The year that I sold the Steelers tickets to my brother, what was that? Remember they were playing...
Yeah, but I thought that was Christmas.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
But...
because it was snowing.
But I think that they might have played the Ravens one Thanksgiving night.
Regardless.
Long ago.
In
the land of the Monongahela.
No, I love it though. And again, and I say this probably every episode, like my family was diehard Steelers. Like my mom, my dad, my grandma, my grandpa, all my aunts and uncles, all my cousins. I don't think there's one person on my mom's side of the family that exists that hasn't married into the family, because I know some of the new kids are. No, my cousin.
Some of the new kids on the block.
Wait, my cousin Trey, the one that just got married. I don't think he's a Steelers fan, but his mom.
Regardless, majority. Yeah, I mean, my family was. They're not a bit. Nobody on either side of my family is really big football people.
Uncle Kevin was.
Uncle Kevin, yeah.
And Hunter is.
Yeah, Hunter. But I mean, the majority of like, they don't have the game on and stuff. I don't even know. You know what I mean? Like and even Dad likes football, but his brothers don't really watch football.
Yeah, and whereas in my family, it was like, there was NASCAR season, baseball season, football season, hockey season. Like my uncles are into all the things.
Now see, Pat Fligel and Uncle Kevin both love NASCAR. So when we'd be at Grandma Fligel's, Pat Fligel always had races on Sundays. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
It was my grandfather did not.
And I'd go back and ask him questions, and because nobody else watched it, but they were really into it.
When I was younger, I fucking hated racing because that's literally because my grandparents had a swimming pool. So we would always be there like all summer long. And my uncles would be like blasting NASCAR races on the radio. And I'm like, what the fuck is this bullshit? I was also only 12.
What's weird about NASCAR is, so first off, I always loved NASCAR video games. You know what I mean?
Me too.
And I do enjoy and I had a great time when I've been to the race. But
yeah, I love the races live.
And when I bet on racing, to me it's exciting. It's just not exciting to me to watch without a little sugar on it. You know what I mean?
I've never bet on a NASCAR race, I don't think. I've bet on the horses.
Yeah, it's just, there's got to be, because to be honest with you,
She's licking again.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. Now, I'm trying to think of other...
There's really not a whole lot of other...
I don't know, is there any other sporting events?
There's not like a big Thanksgiving tradition.
NBA is Christmas. They always have big Christmas games on the NBA, but I don't know if hockey has anything with Thanksgiving. I don't remember that being a thing.
Let's veer from sports. And do you have any crazy Thanksgiving stories where something crazy happened?
What was the craziest thing to happen at Thanksgiving? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either.
There's been some, I know that I've had some great times.
Yeah.
But I don't remember anything real wild happening at any Thanksgiving, really. That's boring ass answer, but...
It is a boring answer, but I actually do. I'm not going to say the whole story. I'm just going to say that we were driving back to Myrtle Beach from Johnstown, and that's when you lost an iPhone, and I got rid of my wedding ring.
Oh, yeah.
That was probably the craziest Thanksgiving ever, just because we hated each other.
Yeah, I was in the throes of addiction, but that wasn't crazy though. It wasn't
it wasn't crazy. It was just me fucking lashing out. But it was post Thanksgiving because we were on our way home. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't do Black Friday shopping, so I don't have any wild Black Friday stories.
That's another great point to bring up about Black Fridays. Of course, Dad and Linda. My dad and my stepmother both worked retail. They both were the manager of Rite Aid, CVS, various stores over the years. And
didn't your dad manage a KB Toys once?
He managed KB Toys, but he also was at Juvenile Sales, which was a toy store in Hagerstown. There.
Was it a chain or just a place?
I think it was a small chain.
Okay, because I had never heard of it.
Yeah, and they had a great big store with all kinds of Power Wheels. Dad one time let us ride the Power after work. That was you talk about fucking awesome. You know what I mean? You're a kid. Your dad works at a toy store. He lets you in after they close and lets you ride Power Wheels around the store. That's movie worthy.
Yeah, that is.
That's every kid's dream, is to have free reign of the Power Wheel in the store.
Yeah, for sure.
And it was a good time.
That's cool.
And so... What were we talking about?
Just, was there any crazy, but didn't really have any crazy. No.
Oh, no, but we were talking about Black Friday shopping.
Oh, yeah. Black Friday shopping.
So, but I was aware of the first time I ever heard, they're we're getting ready, and they're tomorrow's Black Friday. And I was when I was a kid, I was scared. I was what is this? I seen a commercial, something about Black Friday. I was scared. I was always afraid of the end of the world as a kid for some reason.
What?
Because when you're religious, when you're raised in a religious household and you start I'm inquisitive. So at 6, I'm reading the book of Revelation, dude, I don't want the world to end. But I was always fearful because there's signs that you look for, and I was always looking for the signs. And every time I seen one, I was man. Kindergarten, one time the sky turned red and got crazy because there was a tornado. I started flipping out. One time I was on my way to my first sleepover in the first grade, and there was those lights that they put on the sale for big sales.
Yeah,
the sky. I don't know what they're called.
Marquee lights.
And no, the ones that shine up and turn.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I always call them marquees.
But I saw those on the way to the house, and then cried and made my mom come get me after that. Because I was too scared to stay there because I didn't want to be somewhere when the world was ending.
Oh my God.
You know, I wanted to be home. I didn't want to be caught at a friend's house. So, and then one time I ran away from home with Ben Savage, and he told me as we were walking to May's Video Gallery that, because we were playing Ninja Gaiden, or Ninja Gaiden, I don't know how you say it, but it was a Nintendo game that was very popular, and when you died, your final time, you got 3 deaths, 3 lives or whatever, the Grim Reaper would show up. And he told me that the Grim Reaper was somebody that would come and get you after you died. Even if you were going to heaven, the Grim Reaper could come get you and take you to hell. We returned home then because I didn't want to run away anymore.
Oh my God.
But I was always scared of the end of the world. And where did I start that story? Black Friday. So I was scared until I found out what it was. And then I heard about Black Monday one time, and ooh, buddy. But Black Monday was a stock market thing. And there's a black every day of the week, I think, if you look throughout history. But at the time when I was like 6, dude, I was scared. I was like, I don't know what this Black Friday is, but I don't want any parts of it. Keep it away from me. Because they were like, I'd see a commercial where people were running over. It's chaos. The world's ending. Black Friday.
It was chaos. There were several.
I guess Black Friday really started in the 80s.
Yeah.
But the craziness. You know what I mean? Where people were, it started with Cabbage Patch Kids and stuff. Like the first toys where people were like pushing each other out of the way.
Yeah. Like I just never, ever participated in that madness. I'm not saying that I was always on top of Christmas, but like obviously when my kids were younger, I was poor for a minute. But once I started making money, like
it just, I
don't deal with people well. And we've talked about this. I don't like crowds. I get panic attacks in stores.
One time I worked at Walmart on Black Friday.
Ugh,
but my shift didn't start till I want to say 9 or something like that. And by that time it's normal day.
Right.
The craziness of Black Friday is like those doorbuster deals.
Right.
Doorbuster deals this weekend.
Thank
Black
God with
Friday.
the age of internet. A lot of
I know that helped eliminate a lot of the crap, but people still
go out for
there was
deals.
Probably a 15-year period where Black Friday was insane.
People were lining up at 2 o'clock on Thursday.
Probably from 85 to 2000.
Yeah.
Even into the early 2000s.
Because they would do those, and I don't know if they still do it because I haven't had kids that needed these kind of things in ages. Even Dakota stopped wanting anything whenever she was 16 as far as like that would be anything that we couldn't get easily. So like I just never had to deal with that. I don't get it.
I'd just rather not deal with that at all. Like I'm never the person I'm not lining up for nothing.
No.
I don't want it that bad. I don't need it that bad.
Oh, but what I was getting ready to say with that is they used to do that on purpose though and only release certain things on Black Friday. They would release a shipment of Nintendos when Nintendo was the brand new thing and fucking you couldn't get them. And I mean, it was insane and it was very calculated to make sure that they sold out the first batch.
Doorbusters. So the beauty of Black Friday to me was, as a kid growing up, was everybody else was working, so we got to stay at grandma's. You know what I mean? Yeah. On Thanksgiving night.
Yes.
So you're there. That was my favorite part. Staying at Grandma Reed's Thanksgiving night. You're watching whatever you want. You're eating her homemade rolls, leftover ham sandwiches, turkey sandwiches. You're going to be eating cinnamon rolls.
So much so that he was still sleeping over her house on Thanksgiving, even like his late 20s. I'm joking.
When Thanksgiving Day, I was. I mean, because I lived there. Yeah, still. Oh my goodness, dude. All the pies. Oh my Lord. Dude, no wonder I became a foodie.
I know, me too.
Because it was just like, oh man.
So speaking of pies, one of my very favorite things around the holidays is pecan anything. I love pecans. I love candied pecans.
Pecan. Is it pecan or pecan?
I'm going to say pecan. You say it how you want. I don't know. If you're in the South, I think it's pecan. But regardless, so the one year that we lived in South Carolina, my girlfriend lived in South Carolina as well, but she was originally from the South, but she lived in Pennsylvania for a lot of years. So we wanted to bring her kids some Pennsylvania dishes, and I did some shit that I'd never done before, and I did some kind of Amish corn pudding.
I love corn pudding. But
I also
That's going to be a wild sequence.
I also did candied yams like 4 different ways, I swear.
I loved some of your sweet potatoes. That one that you made.
So it's Paula Dean's recipe. It's my favorite sweet potato recipe of all time. But it has pecans in it and pecan crumble on top and brown sugar. And it's more like a pie.
I tell you what, she may say the N-word, but that pie is almost worth it.
I see black people at her restaurant when we're
No, I know. People don't care. If the food's good, people don't care if they say the N word.
But so I made mashed sweet potatoes. I made traditional, like just cubed with marshmallows. And then I made the paladines. And I made the corn fucking souffle.
And I will say, I'm not a big fan of sweet potatoes. I like them.
I love sweet potatoes.
But I get tired of eating them like at Thanksgiving, like the sweet way. I don't like a lot of that, but I've learned to love them because but those ones that the Pauladine ones were like, I could eat those amazing. All day. But I'm just saying, normally I eat a few of them and I'm done. I'm good. Right. But those I could, my goodness.
And I just like my mom's with the marshmallows on too, because I just love toasty, roasty marshmallows. Burnt marshmallows are my favorite flavor, I think.
I don't like them when they're like mashed. Do you know what I mean? Like that's what does it for me.
Some people just dump them in sans syrup and put the marshmallows over top and let it go.
I like that when they're still chunky. I like that. Yeah. That's how I like it.
Because if you mash them and you add too much like milk or butter when you're mashing them, sweet potatoes get really runny easily.
So Grandma Reed had good ones that I always loved. They were like always the hunks, but she just made like her monkey bread syrup. Basically, it was just butter and like brown sugar, and that's all that they
cinnamon,
were.
Yeah,
and they weren't. Yeah. But there was no marshmallows, but they were sweet as all get out. You know what I mean? It was syrup.
I love it. I'm trying to think. I always look forward, obviously, to my mom's stuffing, but the one thing that's weird and store-bought that my family does on Thanksgiving is those brown and serve rolls. It's coming in like a 12.
Let's go to now that we're back to food, let's go to cranberry relish. So I enjoy both kinds. I enjoy the weird shaped form in the thing from the can.
Oh, yeah, that's what I like. That's
what I'm talking about.
When you said weird shape formed, I was thinking of the chunk.
No, because it's like you could take it out of the can and it looks like a can.
No, I get it.
But I love the fresh cranberry salad too, like Grandma Flegel makes.
Grandma Flegel makes good cranberry salad. I just don't prefer chunky.
And she also makes, what I also love is her fruit salad, buddy.
So good. We talked about that on
I know we did talk about it.
That's how good.
That's how good that fruit salad is.
And you'll hear about it at Christmas time because
I'm bringing it back up because she makes it in that giant Tupperware container. And I swear that thing's got flavor locked into it from the 1980s.
It does.
Do they even make them anymore? It's a Tupperware container, but it's like a 5-gallon bucket Tupperware.
No, it's not
container.
5 gallon.
It's 2 at least.
It's 2. I think.
It's not 1. It's definitely more than that.
1. Yeah.
It might even be 3.
It might be 3.
It might even be 3. It's big.
Do we have any Tupperware consultants that can tell us the biggest size? It's clear, has a blue lid, or does it have a gray
No,
lid?
it has it's about the color of a cigarette-stained white wall because it's been around for so long.
It's got the beige.
Do you know what I mean? Originally, I think it was white or clear-ish. Do you know what I'm saying? And now it's just...
I love it. It's a good size, though.
She might not even have that anymore. I don't know, but that's the one I grew up eating.
She had a big ass one at the last.
Yeah, and I don't know like I said, I'm pretty sure they don't make that one anymore. Which is why she's been using that one.
Does your mom sell Tupperware?
No, but she definitely knows who does.
She knows.
She knows who does.
I love it.
Keeps her ear to the streets.
We need to talk about that. We'll talk about we'll do a small business episode where we talk about all that bullshit.
You know what? This is so funny. We talk about my memory and food. I remember driving to a Tupperware convention in York. And the only reason I remember it is because Mom had pre-made egg sandwiches. Just white bread, egg, like Waynesboro style. With just fried egg. No, scrambled egg. White cheddar American cheese on bread and a good old-fashioned egg sandwich, and it is delicious. But we had them to go. I remember that. I also remember one time we went to a flea market with Dan, Linda, and Carlisle, and we stopped at a Hardee's. There was a Huey Lewis and the News were there. Their tour bus was parked outside, and we went inside and I had raisin biscuits, the cinnamon ones.
Did your dad talk to Huey Lewis?
No, he wanted to, though. I was like, who's Huey Lewis? And why is this news?
So Dakota actually touched the hand of, who's the lead singer of Alabama? What the
Johnny Bama.
No. I should know this. But anyways.
Al.
So Alabama was in town. They were playing at the War Memorial. And I had been pushing Dakota around in her stroller downtown. And my Deanna, whose wedding we were at, she was working inside. And she's like, was she working or was she just happened to be in there? And she's like, I just said hi to Alabama in the restaurant because they were in the hotel restaurant. And so I just walked in and asked if I could have an autograph. And they said, yeah. And he shook Dakota's hand. She was in the stroller. It's pretty cool.
Speaking of the War Memorial, Jim Brickman, it's going to be at the War Memorial. I once shook Jim Brickman's hand.
You did?
Yeah, Jim Brickman. I told you he was friends with Norm.
And you shook his hand? I didn't know that. You said he was friends with Norm. I didn't know you met him. I didn't know that.
Yeah. He used to do promotional events at the radio station all the time. Because he's not popular. So like,
why did you say it like normally? He's not popular.
He's not popular, but I'm just saying he's not famous. I would bet you could go ask 100 people in the street who Jim Brickman is, and they don't fucking know. Like,
I'd never heard of him.
No, he's more famous.
But people who like that kind of music, piano music, know who he is. Clearly.
All 40 of them.
Yeah, because he's getting booked here in Johnstown. I'd be interested to see.
Yeah, no, but he does what I think he had a Christmas album that was very popular. It was like piano Christmas albums, like back whenever.
I don't care who the artist is. If they're doing Christmas music, I'm down.
But
I'm in.
Jim Brickman. He's not even.
I'm joking. We've got so much going on.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about. You shook his hand? Yeah, and I also met Lou Scally. It doesn't really, it's not that big a deal. No. Even John Tesh isn't that big of a deal. You know what I mean? Out of all Norm's people that
cohorts.
No, we went to a Mariah Carey listening party one time. I didn't get to meet her, but like we saw her, like we're hanging out there. Norm
she was in the room.
Lots of people. Norm was hobnobbing with celebrities, dude. You kidding me? When you were a radio music programmer in the 1990s, you held the keys.
Oh, didn't he like meet Shania Twain?
Oh, yeah. He met everybody. But he was a director of music at a radio station, and that's how they get people to play their stuff is they let them meet people.
Yeah.
They get all the local radio stations together. They have a little meet and greet. That's exactly right. They have what they call a listening party. And then they have all the radio station people in there shaking hands and taking pictures. And that is basically how they're like bribing the radio station people to play their music.
Yeah.
And of course, there's food and all that stuff. So, yeah.
Nowadays, it's not even like that because, they still do have listening parties. I'm pretty sure that's how Brandy and Shaboos are friends.
Yeah, I'm sure they still do. I mean, it's just probably not as big now that radio is not as big. But whatever it is now, those people were there at the listening. Whoever's controlling what
people are listening to.
On like places where they're not in.
Speaking of listening to people, I'm just going to give this girl a shout out real quick. Everybody's talking about Bella France, so I won't bring her up. The one that does the Grand Tour.
Okay.
We do love her. But Billy Bob gave her a shout out. That's his crush.
Oh, okay.
That's not crazy.
I did hear that, but I didn't put that together. That's who that was.
But no, the girl that I'm talking about is Carter Faith.
Oh. She was very good.
Yeah.
She's very
That's
good.
Like the style writing that it felt like Loretta Lynn when she's talking about
very good.
Fifth City and all that bullshit. It's cool.
Very cool.
Anyway, so Carter Faith, if you are looking for new country music to check her out.
Yeah. No, I agree. Part of the other thing that I miss about Thanksgiving, like warm Thanksgiving memories, is a lot of times Mom would take us to look at, because people put up their Christmas lights. So a lot of times, like, we drive around a little bit, like when we're leaving wherever, and look at some Christmas lights.
I love
put some Christmas music on it, because most of the radio stations would start playing Christmas music.
Yeah.
Oh, I love looking at lights.
Well,
I could drive around looking at lights, listening to music all day long.
What's that one house out in Ladersburg that always does the big...
Oh, yeah, out there on Ladersburg Pike. I don't know what it's called, but it's just a...
That's
the thing is, like, every community has known people that do it every year. Like,
right.
Like a lot of the people, they do it every year. It's like a big thing and everybody knows to go and watch and check it out. And I tell you what, the best light display I think though that we went to was that at the park there in Williamsport.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Williamsport, Maryland.
Yeah, Williamsport, Maryland. It's just like their little town park or whatever. They have it all done up.
Yeah, it was.
And
so
you drive
fun.
through it, and you turn your radio. It's really cool because it's a park, so they have there's lots of room and stuff for them to decorate. So it's a big property.
One of the ones on my bucket list for this year is the Pittsburgh Zoo. Has an amazing light display right now going.
They let the monkeys do the whole thing.
They let them.
Just give them free reign. Some of it looks crazy, but some of it's good.
Yeah. I heard that the pandas pick the music this year, though. I don't know. This Thanksgiving is going to be a little bit shitty, even though I am with my friends and family, because it's going to be the first Thanksgiving in all of her adult life that I'm not going to see my youngest child, because she's one of the crazy liberals that think all her rights are being taken away, and I voted for Trump. Here's what I'm going to say about this.
She blamed not only her mother, but the rest of the people that voted for Trump for...
Half of America hates her.
Yeah.
So I'm going to break this down real quickly because I've talked about it in my socials, but I want to have my story on record and I can finally say all the things out loud that I want to say out loud, right? Not even going to get into whether or not I was a good mother, because that is...
None of that's relevant. You could debate that
subjective.
all day. Yeah, you could debate that all day.
It's subjective.
But put it this way, she didn't want for anything. She was probably a little bit spoiled.
Yeah, very spoiled. Did I take care of her mental health as well as I should have? Probably not.
There's lots of things, 20/20 vision, but that's not the kind of
But
thing.
she had counseling. Yes.
No, I agree.
I also continued to pay her phone bill until last year. She was still on my insurance until Friday. It's not like...
And she's how old?
She'll be 26.
Yeah.
She just turned 25.
Yeah, we didn't say that.
Yeah, she just turned 25. So here's why we will not be spending Thanksgiving together, even though she has disowned me. It is because... You look like you're gearing up to fight somebody.
I'm just getting a good view.
It is because her sociopathic partner, and I'll call it a partner for right now, said in the car one time, and once I heard that, I never could unhear it, that they thought they were a master manipulator, that they like to play chess with people's emotions in their lives. And if I failed at parenting, it was in that moment when I recognized that he was a little psychotic fuck, that I should have cut it off there, but I didn't, because I was so happy.
And perhaps we should have cut it off at the sundress and Easter bonnet.
Let's talk about that. We're going to get into that because so she thinks that I voted for Trump because I'm transphobic.
Because her boyfriend, who's a man, says that he's a woman. And says that, and I don't know what they have going on, but like neither one has ever dated anyone else.
She did date that kid in South Carolina for a little bit.
Yeah, but that was like
puppy love,
elementary school love. This is her own, like they're their only. So I hate to tell you this, kids, but in my book, you're straight. Like you've never, and yet you wanted to change all these rules.
Sorry. So.
I'm just saying, don't jump up on somebody else's cause.
Here's what pisses me off about it is that I literally had a female fiance for 2 years. Well, it wasn't 2 years. We were off and on for 2 years, I would say. Of Dakota's life, I had a living girlfriend. I raised her to be liberal, right? But maybe I don't know where I fucked up in all that. It's this generation.
I don't even think it's just her generation. Everybody was gay. Or you had to be something. You couldn't just be straight.
She came to me as a junior in high school and said that she was a lesbian. And I said, have you ever kissed a girl? And she said, no. And I said, then you're not a lesbian yet. I just didn't understand what these kids I felt like she wanted to be a lesbian because it was like the thing to say.
That's just it. It started off that, but then they got into all these other things. Then when they had now they have their own weird identity. Who knows what it even classifies.
And her argument to me about why she was cutting me off is because she was a trans female with a uterus. Now that doesn't even how can you be a trans female with a uterus? You were born a female and you've taken 0 hormones. You've gotten no surgeries.
Now, here's the other thing. Let's be very clear. I don't give a shit what you do.
That's what I want to get to here, because I wanted to straighten out the whole whether or not I'm transphobic. No. The day that I found out that she blocked me on all social media, I was getting ready to send her a video from a trans content creator that I fucking love who voted for Trump. And I wanted her to have another opinion. And I found out, oops, you're blocked on all social media. 25 years old and doesn't even have the balls to come and tell her mother that she's cutting her off. She just lets her find out, right? So then she throws around the word suicide to me, which pisses me off because she knows that I've experienced that in my lifetime. If she needs mental help, she needs to go get it. But she has a family who's going to accept her and love her so they can take her to get the mental help. Now, I'm not. But the reason why this pisses me off is because I watched this kid go from wanting to be a journalist, wanting to be on Broadway, to working 40 hours a week at a fucking broken down shithole hotel while her boyfriend does nothing. Nothing.
Because he can't do anything. And he won't
because
do
he's
anything.
A spoiled little twink that needed his ass whipped by his dad, which is why he doesn't have a relationship with his dad, because his dad probably wanted to whip his ass for the way that he was being, and his mom wouldn't let him. His mom, who is a welfare queen and who has a live-in pill-popping boyfriend, is all of a sudden mother of the year. If you're mother of the year, Amy, why are they living with your mother next door and not you? Because Daniel doesn't like you. And the final thing I'm saying on this is that the reason why I'm so livid about this is because this boy clearly has mental health issues that have been swept under the rug for far too long. He needs help. And my daughter is never going to get help until this kid gets help, because she's fucking sucked into his little sociopathic world. And
he's a loser. Any man, woman, trans, he's a loser.
So,
it doesn't
but
matter
I want to
what he
end
is.
this on a funny note because I want to tell this story.
Yeah, right.
So they're living with Daniel's grandmother, who does not know that he cross-dresses as a woman. And we were going to a wedding that Scott was performing the ceremony. And they know, if they thought that I was transphobic, do they think that I would let them pull this motherfucking stunt? No. Somebody walks out onto the porch when we go to pick them up, and I thought it was my daughter, and it was her boyfriend in a dress, to go to a wedding with us, a family wedding where Scott was performing the ceremony. Didn't say a word. We were like, okay, cool, whatever. Let's go have fun. Took pictures of them together. We did not care. Till this dumb, you got to tell it.
We're standing there, and the whole time, he was talking in his lady voice. And he was answering questions in his lady voice. Yes, sir. Very nice to meet you.
And then somebody asked a question, and I don't remember
Yeah,
what
we
it
were
was.
talking about the...
It was about a musician.
It was about the Beatles.
The Beatles.
There was some kind of... I don't know why Donovan was talking about the Beatles, but Donovan, bless his heart...
The stepfather of the bride.
Right.
Who
is this hilarious Jamaican dude.
Fucking incredible.
And he's just a blast.
He rolled with this.
He's just so much fun to be around. He's hilarious. He's always a cut up. And the whole time, Daniel was talking like this. Yes, sir, Mr. Donovan. And then they got talking about the Beatles, and he's like, you know that John Lennon and Paul McCartney once gave Ringo Starr a hand job in the bathroom. No,
that's not what he said.
But that's how he
his
said it,
voice.
though. That's how he said it.
Because he forgot that he was in character. And he forgot that he was pretending to be a female.
And then Donovan turns around and he looks at me and goes, I thought that was a woman the whole time. He said, I thought it was just a really ugly girl.
But, and I'm not here to, like, I'm not even
No,
gonna go
I'm not being petty. That's
no,
just a funny
I don't
story.
want to go into the look shaming because that's a whole nother rabbit hole that I could go down.
I will. He's an ugly fucking broad.
Yeah, he's not going to make a good looking woman. And so the problem is that how are they going to pay for any surgeries if my daughter's working a minimum wage job because she couldn't finish college because of him? And now
He once asked how to sweep up glass at his job.
Right.
And he was the so-called maintenance man.
he's the maintenance man at a hotel and he asked how to sweep up glass.
With a fucking broom.
And I'm transphobic? No, honey girl, sister girl. Darcy, is that your name, Darcy? I'm not transphobic. I'm fucking sociopathic phobic. That's what I am. You spoiled little twink. Oh, but anyway,
All right.
But so that's why I'll be spending my holidays from here on out doing all the fun things that I want to do and not taking hours out of my PTO to ferry around two kids that can't get their shit together.
Right. Which was a big part of every holiday.
Yeah. Was because neither of them drive either.
All right. People don't want to hear any more of our worries and troubles.
But that brings us into the next two episodes.
Christmas. The weather outside is frightful.
And all the craziness that ensues because you can't spell families.
Without lies.
Yes.
That'll be fun.
That is going to be so fun.
I don't want to speak ill of your mother on Christmas, but she's nothing but a common street whore.
If you can't tell, we love the movie Four Christmases. So we're going to break the next two episodes up into Four Christmases.
2 Christmases apiece.
2 Christmases apiece. So all things Christmas for the next 2 episodes. We're going to keep it fun, lighthearted, and funny. All right. Maybe that ending was a little harsh. Since it is Thanksgiving and hopefully you are listening to this on or right around Thanksgiving, we want you to know that we are thankful for you, our loyal listeners. What else are we thankful for, babe?
I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful for the opportunity to do this podcast, to do comedy, thankful that we're in a position in life that we can do that, meaning that like we have good jobs, we have a stable life.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Thankful for family, obviously, friends. Everybody's thankful for those things.
And of course, I am very thankful for you and all that you have to endure with my mental illness because it is a challenge and I get that. But you are with me and stick with me. So I'm thankful for that. Also thankful for all my family and friends and my extended family who we are going to be seeing over Thanksgiving.
Goodbye.
Peace.
Peace. Welcome to Scott's Thoughts. Scott's Thoughts. My quote today comes from the great author David Sedaris in his book, Let's Explore Diabetes with Owls. That's right, I promise you that's real. But there's a quote in there that says, "It's trash, you're trash, your whole family's trash." Now's a good time to remember that some of your family members are trash, but it's okay. Because family is family. You love them, you hate them, you accept them. And that's Scott's Thoughts.